Good morning, sisters. Once again, we come this morning to be able to read the Word of the Lord. And my name is Adina Paul. I live in New Rochelle, New York. And I am so glad that we can actually continue the lesson. And our title for the subtitle actually for this morning is for Monday morning, Teaming Up in Trial. Question number 2. Who else fled to follow David in the cave, and how was this an educational experience for the anointed fugitive? From 1 Samuel 22, verse 2. And it says, "And everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in debt, and everyone that was disconnected, gathered themselves unto him, and he became a captain over them, and there were with him about 400 men." So, who else was there? Everyone that was in distress, everyone that was in debt, everyone that was discontented, and they just felt like Saul was not taking care of them, that Saul was, you know, they kind of realized that, the Lord was with David and against Saul. So 400 men, that's a huge, amount of people. That's like a large amount of people that, came up to David because they saw that the Lord was with him and they saw David was faithful. So they said, you know what? Let's just go to David. But it says that everyone that was kind of tired and just hopeless, they felt hopeless, they felt helpless. So they were just like, we're going to, follow David. So the note under 2:8 says, "It was not long before David's company was joined by others who desired to escape the exactions of the king. There were many who had lost confidence in the ruler of Israel, for they could see that he was no longer guided by the Spirit of the Lord." 1 Samuel 22, verse 2 quoted, "Here David had a little kingdom of his own, and in it order and discipline prevailed." God was giving David a course of discipline to fit him to become a wise general as well as a just and merciful king. The uncertainty and unrest of the wilderness life, its unceasing peril, its necessity for frequent flight, the character of the men who gathered to David there, all rendered the more essential a stern self-discipline. These experiences aroused and developed power to deal with men, sympathy for the oppressed, and hatred of injustice. So there were people of different characters, different, how do you say that word? I'm looking for the word. Different dispositions. So David now, as is just not him and his family, not in him and his mom and his brothers and his dad, and now it's like a whole bunch of people that, they were discouraged. So people that probably had low self-esteem, people that, you know they just they were tired of, being manipulated by King Saul, and now they came to David, and David, I'm sure he went to the Lord and he's like, "Lord, I need you to help me with this and to, you know, help me really know what to do, because these people now, they're all coming to me for help. What do I do? How do I resolve this? How do I manage?" So the Lord kind of gave him a little bit of, you know, um, a little experience, kind of, in a way, a little way, like I tried, um, like lessons to know how to deal with the different people. So he was just like, okay, you know what, I'm training you to be the king of Israel. So he was the next king. So these little experiences allowed him to be able to say, okay, I need to trust in the Lord. He will guide, he will help me, but at the same time I have to be loving and kind and understanding, and just kind of have an open heart, an open mind, and listen to these people, because they need my help. So as he was learning to depend on God. He was learning to deal with the different situations, with everything, through everything. He just depended on the Lord. And that strengthened his faith. So let us go to question 2b. Describe the predicament that many faithful followers of Christ will have undergone by the time the Lord returns, and the hope that shines through the midst of it. Zephaniah 3:12 and Hebrews 11:37 to 40. So we have to describe here, it's asking us to describe the predicament that many followers of Christ will have to go through before the Lord returns. So, Zephaniah. Okay. Zephaniah 3:12. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. So I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. So the Lord is allowing affliction, poverty, sometimes so we can trust in him, so we can depend on him more and more. And Hebrews 11. Okay, 11, 37 to 40. They were stoned, they were sawn asunder, were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskin and goatskin, being destitute, afflicted, tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and in caves of the earth. All and and these all, having obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise, God having provided some better things for us, than that they without us should not be made perfect. So God's people throughout the ages had to suffer persecution, death, stoning. Um, they were given to the lions, and they were just afflicted, tormented. And yet, he said, I will always be with you. So as we go through the different trials and tribulations, remember that God's promises never fail. God's promises, as the Lord says, I will be with you. I will guide you. I will help you. I will be your God and you will be my people. So as we go through the different trials, let us remember the Lord is with us. So let us read from the note. It says, from garrets, from hovels, from dungeons, from scaffolds, from mountains and deserts, from the caves of the earth and the caverns of the sea, Christ will gather his children to himself. On earth they have been destitute, afflicted, and tormented. Millions have gone down to the grave loaded with infamy because they refused to yield to the deceptive claims of Satan. By human tribunals, the children of God have been adjudged the vilest criminals. But the day is near when God is judge himself. Psalm 50, verse 6. Then the decisions of earth shall be reversed. The rebuke of his people shall he take away. Isaiah 25, verse 8. Whatever crosses they have been called to bear, whatever losses they have sustained, whatever persecution they have suffered, even the loss of their temporal life, the children of God are amply recompensed. Revelation 22, verse 4 quoted. Christ Object Lessons, page 179 and 180. So we see that God's people suffered, and yet he will recompense, he will bless, and He will guide. So let us trust in the Lord this morning and every single day, not only, but that He may bless our day, that He may guide us and teach us and walk with us. And as we study His Word, that He may open our minds and hearts, that we may understand. And these lessons are so beautiful because it's like, and they're so timely. I just feel like they're so timely for the times that we're living in. And the Lord is here teaching us. And He will always be with us, and He will always guide, and He will always be on our side. So I wish you a wonderful day, and may the Lord guide each one of us, and that He may bless. And then one day we will be with Him, because He promises, where I will be, you will be with me also. Take care. Have a blessed day.